Hey, this is Nikki, and welcome to my reset journey. So I said I was going to give you a update on my birthday, which was August 7th, and we celebrated it on the 8th. We ended up doing a painting workshop where somebody came over. She gave us like a brief testimony and explained to us what we would be drawing and what we were going to draw inside of it. So it was just a cross, and you could draw anything that was in your mind or what was put in your heart to paint inside of the cross or however you want. But the point and the image was the cross. Um, Mine didn't come out as I was imagining. I was just having a really tough time painting, which I love to paint. And I don't know, I was acting really brand new. It's been a couple of years. But I had so much fun. My husband invited two of his coworkers. They brought their wives, and one of my daughters was here with her husband and my brother, and that was it. It was just us. I have a small house, so it we still fit, but it was kind of tight, and I loved it. I ended up having an amazing day. A lot of things happened that day that I would have usually broken apart. I would have thought that it was a like just a bad day, like, oh, it's not working out. And I would have been thinking like, nobody loves me, nobody cares for me. I would have been self-loathing, feeling sorry for myself. I would have done all the things, right? I didn't do any of that. I handled that day so well. I'm so surprised. Surprised but not surprised. I was talking to my therapist today. I talk to her every Tuesday. And I was telling her, like, I handled so many things last week so good after receiving news that, of course, I did not want to hear from my doctor. But even with having that weight on my mind, I ended up tackling another phobia. And, not completely. I did 2 hours of it, which I have to work on that. And on my birthday, a lot of things were like people canceled on us. And I for a minute thought nobody was going to come. I was so happy that my husband's coworkers came with their wives. They're really nice. I've had them here before. I think it was on my husband's birthday they came. So back in April. Anyways, it ended up being such an amazing time. But let me tell you what I've learned, okay? I've learned that even though you get a bad report from the doctor and something that you plan where you really want support from your family and just to be around familiar faces, even when you don't get any of it, no support, no type of love, no care, no nothing, it doesn't, it hurts, but it doesn't have to define what type of day you're going to have. I made a decision that, okay, I'm not going to like some of the things I'm going to have to go through. But that doesn't mean that every day following up to these really important appointments, it doesn't mean those days have to be bad. I don't have to live every day in dread and fear and anxiety and hurt and pain and just horrible sense of doom. Like this is doomsday and I have to shiver and I have to be scared and I'm going to work my body up and it's going to be filled with anxiety. That on the day that I have to face these issues, I'm already so defeated mentally, physically, spiritually. I'm exhausted. And I don't handle those days good because I'm already beat up. I'm showing up to those important days hurt, beaten down, bruised, just messed up. And I was like, okay, if those days are going to be hard already, because, it is, they're going to be hard days where I have to face certain things. Why can't I just make the other days beautiful? Why can't I work on them days to fill me with happiness and faith and just good thoughts? Why do I have to let myself get consumed with fear and all the what ifs? What if I didn't do that? What if I just lived each moment for what it was. And I didn't think about the past, and I didn't worry about the future and make up imaginations of what if this happens, or thinking of the worst case scenario. What if I just lived in the present moment, dealing with the present things that happen, and I just face them and I stay right here in this moment. And every time my mind wanders to go to that place, I can stop it. And I've really been working hard on that. And on my birthday, although some stuff was coming up, stuff that would have hurt me in the past, and I would have turned into my people pleasing ways, trying to get anybody to come just so that I could feel loved, like if that's where I get my fulfillment. I thought to myself, no, that's not where I get my fulfillment. I want people to show up because they want to show up. And if they don't want to show up, then your loss. That's your loss. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I don't need to get my fulfillment from that. I don't need to, depend on that to be joyful and to be happy. So I decided to surrender it. But not just on that day. I'm surrendering so much every single day. You guys, I'm not happy with this medical report. I'm not happy that my body is not producing something the way it's supposed to. Who is? Who is happy when they hear something like that? You don't want to hear that. You don't want to hear that your body isn't doing something it should be doing, that it's not creating something the correct way. And I don't even know what none of it means. I don't even want to research it. I don't want to get lost in a rabbit hole of trying to figure things out, trying to make sense of it. I've done enough of that. I've already had 2 sleepless nights. And I refuse to let myself be ruled by that. I'll deal with that day when the date comes. But until then, I just want to be happy now. Why does happiness have to wait? It doesn't have to wait. I'm in charge of that. So I ended up having an amazing party. I threw away all the fears and all the weight that was in my mind. I threw it to the side and I said, I'm going to enjoy tonight. I don't care if it's just me, my husband, and my daughters that are present for that painting workshop. I'm going to enjoy it, And I did. And I had one of the best days that I've had maybe all year, because I have been going through it this year. It has been a rough year. And just when I thought, man, I'm starting to feel good. I'm starting to feel like my old self. I'm having more energy. I'm moving around. I'm in the garden twice a day. I'm starting to be able to cook for myself again. I was able to make breakfast. I was helping with dinner. I started cleaning little things, little by little. It may take me, 4 hours to clean the kitchen because I have to take rest and I'll tackle one thing at a time. But the point was, I was able to do it. And right when I was starting to feel the strength and be happy that everything was starting to look good and the movement was back and I was conditioning myself, there it goes. I get this bad report from the doctor. And I was like, no. I feel great though. I feel better. It really came out of nowhere. That really came out of nowhere. I was not ready for it, but it's okay. It's okay, you guys. This is what the reset journey is all about. It's creating your baseline, what we're going to work from. We don't have to work from fear and worry and stress and dread. We can create a baseline that is reflected on believing in the Father, that the foundation is set on, I know that you're with me, even if I have to go through this, even though I don't want to go through this, I know that you are with me. And I can believe that and I can trust that. And that's where my baseline is. And I can work from that platform right there. I don't have to be covered in fear. I don't have to be covered in anxious thoughts. I don't know if I said that right. But I can work from a new baseline where I'm just happy And I'm working on my relationship with God as I have been all year, working on inner child health, healing, inner child forgiveness, having to go back to the past sometimes to find freedom in my everyday living today, getting rid of so many chains. I've put so much work into this year, so much work. And my therapist said that today marked 6 weeks of her and I, talking. And she said I was starting to sound like a totally different person. She's like, you don't sound the way you did when I first met you. She's like, there's a shift. There is a shift, and it's big. And all the little steps that you took, it wasn't about how little the step was. It was about how consistent you were at keeping them. You didn't give up after a few days, after a week, after 2 weeks, expecting change. You knew that change would have to come later, and you kept with the consistency of working on your mindset, of casting out every bad thought that came in there, trying not to let bad imaginations linger on, even though I have admitted that some did get away from me. But for the most part, I've been able to stop them. And then I refill them by filling myself up with joy and positive energy, positive vibes, positive affirmations, scripture, Jesus, worship, the confessions coming out of my mouth. Even when I was, going through it in June with having fevers through the whole month of June, not feeling well, and still working on my mindset. And here I am in August. And like I said, it's not the news I wanted to hear, but I don't know why. I feel amazing. I feel good. I'm happy. I feel like I have hope. Like I don't know. I can't believe that I have that bad diagnosis when I finally feel mentally free in so many areas. And I don't know, at this point, even though last week was crazy and a lot of things were happening, I'm so thankful for the birthday that I got to enjoy with my family. It was so amazing. I felt so loved. And even if anybody hadn't came, I understand I don't need that for fulfillment. So yeah, I'm working on my baseline. I'm working on the foundation of where I'm projecting everything from. And it doesn't have to be a negative place. These small little steps, these small little changes are transforming everything. They are literally resetting my life. And I feel happy. I can honestly say I feel happy right now. And I know I still have to wait for that phone call from the new doctor and a new appointment and new tests and new things I'm going to have to go through. That doesn't seem to leave my mind. No matter how happy I get, it still tries to interrupt with, the anxiety of it. I still feel happy because I can stop the imagination and be like, okay. You saw me be happy and then you wanted to interrupt and say, okay, but you have something coming up that you really don't want to go through. Two things can be true at the same time. I am happy, and it's true that I don't want to have to go through all of that, but I'm still happy. I don't know how to explain it. It's really weird. Maybe I'm not articulating it the way I need to, but I just don't know how else to explain it other than I am happy. And it's going to be a interesting ride, but it's a part of my journey. And I believe God is with me every step. And I'm going to continue with these small steps and maybe add some little twists and turns of my own just to get my mind knowing that I can face these things. There's some things I want to face. I'm working from a different baseline, and I feel like I can attack these things now. I can work on it. So that's where I am right now, mentally, spiritually, physically. That's where I am right now. This is going to be interesting, but this is what it's come down to. And I'm okay with it. I'm really okay with it. So that's it for today. And if you're going through anything, just remember this. You've got to make a decision and you have to stick to it. Make a decision that whatever it is you're going to go through, that you're going to go through it with a different mindset. Not negative, but positive. And go through it that way. And do everything that you have to do to get to that place. So, thank you for stopping by. And I got something I want to talk about that I was talking to with a few friends. And it's talking about stripping before you get into the pit. Not sexual stripping, but you have to strip things out of your life. Any distractions, strip it off, tear it off, take it off, get rid of it. Because the transformation starts when you've hit rock bottom. And that's when you're willing to just surrender everything and just say, okay, my way didn't work. I'm ready to take on your way. But there has to be a part of that where you get away from all the distractions, all the familiarity that you're used to, all the things that have distracted you and pushed you away and kept you the way that you've been. There has to be a departure from that. So I'd love to talk about that on my next episode. So anyways, you guys have a blessed one, and I will see you on the next one. God bless.